What's up, everyone? So I had my best day ever today. It's insane. I made $15,000 across two different accounts. My funded futures right here, Express funded 150K, and my Express Top Step account. So I'm pretty excited to go over the trades today. Obviously, I'm not including these two evals from Top Step. I passed an eval, but yeah, I've pretty much followed your comments about leaving these two My Funded Future accounts alone and wait for payout. And I've just been killing it. I went on my other one where I was up like 1,300, right? And I made 9K on that today. So we're going to just get right into that trade. I'm pretty excited. With the major thing about this, right, is that I was never in any kind of real drawdown. I think this is pretty cool in Trade Sell. If you go to like Daily Journal, you can see like your net P&L throughout the day, and pretty much never was in any kind of drawdown. Pretty chill the whole time in the trade because I saw that price action was going my way the entire time, essentially. So let's just get into reviewing the trade. Okay, so what happened during the morning, right? This huge sell-off, right? I did not participate in any of that. It was quite strange, and what I wanted to say was I had said during my live stream I was not going to participate in any sort of move during the silver bullet from 10 to 11 because when we hit some sort of major sell side from 9:30 to 10, which we did right here, we hit last week's low, then oftentimes the silver bullet does not present itself. And also, I wanted it to retrace, but that doesn't mean I wanted to play the long, right? Because I didn't have any sort of clean buy side to go for, and I was still bear bias for the day. Why? Why was I bear bias for the day? DXY was bullish, and essentially NVIDIA was having its first huge down day, and I did not think that now like we're going to miraculously recover throughout the afternoon, right? Because the hourly was also bearish as well. So a lot of confluences there. So I had said I wanted it to retrace in 50% of the range for NQ. Ended up not doing that, but I still went in short. Why? Because ES did retrace at 50%. So let's pull up ES real quick. Right here, right? ES did retrace into 50% of its range, and it had started to show willingness to go lower, right? ES here, by 11:10, it had broken this low on this leg up, and it was showing signs of reversing. So I went in with NQ because NQ is weaker on the index. It did not take this high, and also NVIDIA was down 5% on the day. Tesla was down like 2.5% on the day, so I thought it would move quicker, and I just typically play NQ. So I entered short pretty much when we inverted this, and on my Top Step account, I was a little bit like I was taking the trade like pretty early on, just when it inverted this, because I just thought the risk was managed. It was like a 20-point stop. But on my funded futures account, I was a little bit more cautious, right? Because my Top Step account was in drawdown, so I entered that one earlier. I can show the executions right here. I was entering here, covered one, entered again in the second distribution, and then I covered all at where was the target that I pointed out during the live stream. We had sell side liquidity from the NFP Friday a few weeks ago, and that lined up with the negative 2.5 standard deviation of this manipulation leg, this move up at open, right? So why was I confident about holding this lower to this area, right? Because I actually took a very similar trade on Friday, and I can show that here. This is Friday's trade for me, very similar, right? I had marked out the range of the morning, pushed back up, I had waited for that break of a short-term low. And then I got in and I targeted like discount. Well, the reason why I held on to this one was because there was no close above any type of short-term high in here. In fact, I was adding and adding in my my funded futures account. That's how I was able to have such a killer day. I was just I was adding a lot when I saw these wicks in here. It was just, there were so many PD arrays that were bearish here. Inverted fair value gap, this volume imbalance, this fair value gap here, and it was respecting it, right? It was remaining in between this, not breaking above this, not closing above this. Had it closed up here, I really did. I was watching the candles forming, and I had my mouse on the flatten all button. I was ready to get out, right? Because I was pyramiding pretty hard in here. My first entry was on my funded futures account was 73.5. We're gonna go over reliving the trade, but I'm going to just go over the structure. As it was wicking this, that's when I just knew to get in, as it was wicking this balanced price range, and then finally broke below it, came back, and I got in on that second distribution. Nice, to the downside. One other thing that was different about this from Friday was that time, right? This was right before the 1150 macro. Isn't that kind of crazy how it starts to deliver really these large candles after 1150 into 1210? Meanwhile, on Friday, the time was, when I got out of the trade, it was closing, when I was getting out of my runners here, essentially, on some of my accounts, because it was going into 130, and 130 oftentimes manipulates the range. And another thing to point out was on Friday, ES was a lot stronger than ES today. So let me point that out real quick. So ES, this is ES today, right? So it had retraced into 50% of this, and then this move lower had broken below 50% of this move up, right? And if the move, that first move leg down, real leg down, breaks that, then oftentimes that's a high probability for that second distribution to happen. Meanwhile, on Friday, here it is. Here's this move, the move back up during the morning, and this move down here did not breach 50%, right? So there are a lot of confluences going on here with ES being weaker, and it was helping NQ reach its low. So let's just go over. I honestly really like that this standard deviation lined up with that NFP Friday low, right? We can look at that for a second. What am I talking about here? This is a low into this hourly fair value gap. That was never, this fair value gap was not completed. So it could have definitely, sell side, a low into a hourly fair value gap, oftentimes goes for that. I wonder exactly where did we pause at. So this is the top of that hourly fair value gap. I just want to see. If we tick that, like, I'm going to freak out at precision. Okay, I'm actually scared. I'm actually a little scared right now. We completely filled in that hourly fair value gap, and that was the low of the day. Okay, that's a little scary. This is where ICT goes like, that's not cherry picking, folks. This is me, like, reviewing and being kind of spooked out by that. Okay. Then I got on my trade, essentially right there, and I shut down my computer, and I was like, I'm done. I just had a killer trade, shutting this down, not getting into anything else. I'm going to wait until 4 p.m. to review everything, because impulsivity is real. Anyway, let's check this out again. Oh yeah, so let's review on TradeZella. They have a really cool replay, like we can relive the trade. So if you want to relive the trade with me, we're going to do that here. So this is when I noted this inversion, right? This is when I noted NQ did not take this high, ES did. We're starting to bleed lower. We broke this little order block. We inverted this, right? So I had that drawn out. Let me see the little box. Right here, we can like draw as it happens. Right, so I had this marked out, and I was still watching price. I had a position in Top Step though, and my stop was right here. The swing high. Okay, now I noticed that it wicked it. It's pulling away quickly. Didn't close below this, so it can definitely come back up into it. And right now, I believe it's going to wick it again. We can actually get this to go a little faster. Here we go. We can watch the candles form. Okay, it didn't close below this, so it can definitely come back. And right here, I saw that wick. And where's the entry? Oh, right here. Okay. This is where I entered 1. So I wasn't, and then I entered more when it inverted this. As it was inverting this, I entered more, added, and then I quickly covered as it was breaking below here. So now I had booked some profit, which also allowed me to mitigate risk, right? So at this point, I was adding more, right? In this little volume imbalance, I was adding, and my stop was literally if it had closed above, right? I was adding more, probably just covered one because I realized there's, because of, I didn't let that candle close. So, yep, now I was covering as it broke this low here. So I took some off the table. And, yep, probably took more off the table here just to pay myself. And I had marked out the low here to take also some more off the table, and then 65s. So at no point was I actually in any drawdown, which is incredible. Definitely my best trade ever. Yeah. I'm just happy like I nailed the narrative, and that's what gave me confidence to hold. And there, I got out of the last of it there. Honestly, I'm very thankful. So it's pretty lit. Every day My Funded Futures updates its dashboard at 6 p.m. Right now it's 6:10, so I'm just looking at that. I had a killer day, so I already brought my new account up to 160K, and the amount above the buffer is 6K, so there's no more end of day trailing for me. And yeah, just traded 2 days and already killing it. I mean, this is kind of hilarious. Profit factor of 10,000, right? Because there is no losing trade on that. The contracts is not really that accurate, which is why, obviously this is not accurate, which is why I use TradeZella to sort of combine everything together, right? And here I can see that this month I had an average, my average win was 4 times bigger than my average loss. So I'm very much happy for my performance, and yeah, here's 2024 is the year of payouts. Let's get it, everyone. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe. I live stream on YouTube every day at 9:15 a.m.